Hello, students. Good morning. Good morning. How are you all? Yes, आज अपलोड हो जाएगा. आज अपलोड हो जाएगा. Okay, उद्धव. So, students, in today class, uh, we are going to start function, and function is very important topic for GATE, right? Function recursion is very important topic, right? Okay. So, this is my Telegram ID. Okay. This is also my Telegram ID. So you can join both. This is Geeks for Geeks Telegram ID, right? Okay. So this is my brief profile, student. So now today we are going to start function, student. What is function, student? What is function, student? A function is a piece of code, piece of reusable code that perform a specific task. Okay. So you know what is function, student? Function is a piece of code that perform a specific task. A function is a block of that perform a specific task. What is the meaning of this, student? Dear student, I want to print good morning 100 times. Okay. Suppose I want to use print function, student. Let's suppose this is print function. Let's suppose the print function contain 1000 line of code, student. Right? This is 1000 line of code, student. And I want to print 100 times. Let's suppose 1000 line. I want to use print 100 times, right? Dear student, print statement contain, let's suppose 1000 line of codes, and you need to print 100 times, student. Writing the same code again and again will make your program unnecessarily long and difficult to manage, right? To solve this problem, we use function, student. A function allow you to place a piece of code in one place, and whenever you need that code, you simply call the function, right? Simply call the function. This makes the program shorter, cleaner, allow code reusability, which is much better approach, student. Which is much better approach. Understood? So without function, if you write these 1000 line of code 100 times, then the total line of codes, total line of code without function, if you write these 1000 line 100 times, student. So you know, this is very large, very huge code, student. Right? So this is very difficult to manage this code, student. Right? So this is not good thing. You are writing same line of code again and again, right? Again and again, same line of code. Yes. Good morning, Sidhu. Okay. Tag me. उद्धव, मैं देखूंगा उसको। यस उद्धव। So you are without function, if you write these 1,000 line of code 100 times, so this code is too large, and this management of this code is too large, difficult to manage, student. And this is not good. You are writing same line of codes again and again, right? ये तो बेवकूफ़ी है सर, क्यों unnecessary हम ऐसा कर रहे हैं? तो सर द नेक्स्ट कॉन्सेप्ट इज फंक्शन। फंक्शन का जन्म हुआ, फंक्शन कॉन्सेप्ट आया। फंक्शन कहता है कि दिस पीस ऑफ कोड, write this piece of code at one place, and name of this piece of code, this is a function. The name of function is print function, right? So whenever you need print, then just call this function, student. Just call this function. Understood? Sir, 100 times. So just call 100 times. So no need to write these 1,000 line of code 100 times, right? No need to write. Just write in one place, and this block is a function. Function name is print function. If you require this function, then just call 100 times, right? This is also not good approach, student. This is the same line of code, iterable. So you can use loop also, right? So this is also not good thing, but much better as compared to this. So what is the good thing, sir? Just write loop for this. Just write loop for this, student. For I, okay, so this is much better approach. Okay, so 100 times this, 100 times this is much better code. Okay, then sir, what are the advantage of function, student? It avoid repetition of code, बच्चे. Divide a complex program into smaller program, manageable parts. Improve readability, right, and debuggability. Reuse code and different inputs, right? So advantage of function is code reusability. No need to write unnecessary same line of code again and again, right? You can divide code in smaller code, right? Okay. So purpose of function is code reusability, or right? And the purpose of loop, sir, what is the purpose? This purpose of loop is what? Purpose of loop is code repetition. Okay. So why use function? These are the advantages of function, student. Avoid repetition, divide a complex program into smaller manageable part, improve readability, debugging, reuse code with different inputs. Okay, so purpose of function is code reusability. Purpose of function is code reusability or reutilization. Okay. Second thing, the purpose of loop is what, student? Okay. Today मैं देखूंगा आज. Yes, उद्धव, आज देखूंगा. Okay. कल देख नहीं पाया. Yes. Good morning, Simran. Good morning. The purpose of loop is code repetition, student. Purpose of loop is code repetition, student. And the purpose of module is what? And purpose of modules is what, student? You know, the purpose of function is code reutilization, right? And the purpose of loop code repetition, and the purpose of header file. If we talk about in C programming, the purpose of header file in case of Python, the purpose of module is what is student? Function reutilization, student. Okay, this is the advantage of function. All right, student. So these are the point related to functions. So you can read it. A group of statement is repeatedly required, then it is not recommended to write the same statement every time separately, right? We have to define these statement as a single unit, and we can call that unit any number of times based on your requirement without rewriting, bache. Without rewriting. So this unit is nothing but function. This unit is nothing but function, student. Okay, the main advantage of function is what, sir? Code reusability. All right. In other language, function are known as method, procedure, subroutines also. Okay. So Python support two types of function, bache, built-in function and user-defined function. Okay. Okay. The Python support two types of function, bache, built-in function and user-defined function. What is built-in function, student? The function which are coming along with Python software automatically are called built-in function or predefined function, bache, right? What about user-defined function, bache? User-defined function, the function which are developed by programmer explicitly according to business or functionality requirement, okay, are called user-defined function. So built-in function, the function which are coming along with Python software automatically are called built-in function or predefined. These are the some built-in function. Okay. फर्स्ट बच्चे इनपुट फंक्शन ऑर्डर यहाँ गलत लिखा हुआ है, आउटपुट इज प्रिंट. टाइप कन्वर्जन के लिए वी विल सीक टाइप कास्टिंग. सर these are the input function. type casting, integer float, str, list, set. मैथमेटिक्स ऑपरेशंस के लिए एब्सोल्यूट, पावर, राउंड, मिन, मैक्स, सम फंक्शन. स्ट्रिंग्स के लिए यू कैन लेन, एलियन, लेंथ, ऑर्डिनल वैल्यू, आस्काई वैल्यू के लिए कैरेक्टर, दिस जनरेट कैरेक्टर करस्पॉन्डिंग टू आस्काई वैल्यू. लिस्ट एंड सीक्वेंसेस के लिए एलियन, सॉर्टेड, सम वी हैव ऑलरेडी कवर्ड. सॉर्टिंग एंड फिल्टरिंग, सॉर्टेड, फिल्टर, मैप, वी विल डिस्कस फिल्टर एंड मैप इन टुमारो क्लास, right? Sorted we have already covered. File handling के लिए some open, read, write, close function, some advanced eval, zip, enumerate, we will discuss tomorrow class this function. Okay. Okay, understood. So this is built-in function, student. What about user-defined function, bache? The function which are developed by the programmer explicitly according to your business requirement, according to your logic, right, are called user-defined function. There are two parts for function, right? Sir, function definition and function calling. Function definition and function calling. In Python, student, two parts, function definition and function calling. Whereas in C programming, function prototype declaration, right? If we talk about C programming, C++ programming, first is prototype declaration and second we are definition and calling. But in Python programming, there are two parts, function definition and function calling. Okay. Function definition, we define logic or functions, and function calling, we execute function, call function. Bache, the function definition should be before the function calling. Function definition should be before the function calling, otherwise an error will occur, student. Okay. Now syntax for function definition. What is the syntax for function definition, student? syntax for function definition, write keyword is a def keyword, function name or parameters. Okay, and this is with same indentation, बच्चे same indentation, same tab spaces के साथ you can write here. This is the block of this function, body of this function, student. Okay, here return type is optional, student. If you want to write return type, then you can write here return type. Otherwise, no need to write return type. Okay, return type is optional. Understood? Similarly, sir, these parameters are also optional, बच्चे. Parameters are also optional. So return value, this is optional. Parameter is also optional. Okay, and this parameter always ये कैसा होगा? Always this parameter is local. Always local, बच्चे. Always local. So in this definition, function underscore name, this is what the name of the function, student. Parameters optional है, input to the function, this is the input to the function, and doc string not written here. You can maintain the doc string, right, documentation purpose, and return type is also optional. The function can return a value. Okay, you can remove this line also. This is not mandatory. Okay, sir, function calling, how we can call function, बच्चे? Or how we can call function, student? So function calling, again there are two syntax. Write function name, write this function name, student. Write this function name and arguments. And arguments. Okay, this is the syntax for function calling. Okay, or okay. So in this case, what will happen? And this is the function calling, student. Directly, if you call this function, then these arguments come to this parameter. This function is called. You jump the definition part, right, and you evaluate this one. ओके इस तरह से फंक्शन को आप बुलाएंगे, इस तरह से फंक्शन कॉल होगा बच्चे. ओके आप कहाँ जंप करेंगे? रिडायरेक्ट होकर फंक्शन की डेफिनेशन पे, यहाँ ये डेफिनेशन से आपका रिजल्ट मिलेगा. ओके दूसरे टाइप से कॉल कैसे होगा? अगर ये कुछ रिटर्न कर रहा होगा बच्चे, इफ दिस रिटर्न, अगर ये रिटर्न कर रहा है कुछ, अगर ये रिटर्न कर रहा है बच्चे, तो यहाँ पे अगर कुछ रिटर्न टाइप इस तरह से लिखा है, तो कैसे होगा बच्चे? आपको लिखना पड़ेगा वेरिएबल इक्वल्स टू फंक्शन नेम. इन दिस केस यू हैव टू राइट वेरिएबल जिस इक्वल्स टू फंक्शन नेम, राइट. तो ये बदले में रिटर्न भी करेगा बच्चे. ये वैल्यू रिटर्न होके कहाँ जाएगी? ये जो वैल्यू दी गई है ये रिटर्न होके कहाँ मिले जाएगी बच्चे? इस जगह पे, दिस वैल्यू, ये जो रिटर्न होगा दिस वन, ये कहाँ जाएगी बच्चे, इस जगह पे। ओके, और फिर ये जो वैल्यू इसमें जाएगी वो असाइन किस में होगी, इस वेरिएबल के अंदर। अंडरस्टूड? दिस इज सेकेंड टाइप ऑफ कॉलिंग। ऑल राइट, in Python have great facility. In Python you can return multiple value, whereas in C programming or C++ programming you can return at a time only one value bache. But Python programming you can return multiple value. Returning multiple value from a function, how we can return, in other language like C, C++ and Java, function can return at most one value, but in Python a function can return any number of values bache. Okay, so this is the definition of function. The name of function is sum subtract, and the parameters is a b, right student? Sum equals to a plus b is this one. This is the definition of function. Sir, when you will enter in this definition, when you call this function, so here I am calling this function, bache. This is the calling of this function. If you call this function, then jump at the definition part, student. Okay. If you jump at the definition part, then 200 and 100, 200 and 100, this 200 object is stored somewhere else in the memory. This is 200 student, and a is pointing to this 200. All right, and 100, sir, this a is pointing to this 200 and b is pointing to this 100. Okay, now sum equals to a plus b. Sir, if you perform a plus b, then it will be what, sir? 300 student. 300 is a different object stored somewhere else in the memory, and sum is a variable. Sum is pointing to this one. Okay, similarly subtract a minus b, 200 minus 100, so this is 100. Two hundred minus 100, so this is 100 stored somewhere else in the memory. Subtract is pointing to this one. Okay, now sir, after performing these operation, I am returning this value sum and subtract. Then what will happen is, student, you are returning this value, then sum x is this return value. Here two parameters, here 2, receiving in 2, both is same. So sir, x is pointing to this sum and y is pointing to this one. So so this is understood, fine. The sum is x, क्या print होगा? The sum is x is 300. The output sum is x is 300. The subtraction is y is 100. So this is the output. So in this way you can return multiple value in Python, bache. Okay. Now what is the output for this? This is the GATE 2024 ISC mock test paper question. What is the answer for this question, student? सिमरन, व्हाट इज योर क्वेश्चन? प्रिंट करना है तो प्रिंट जब लिखते हैं तो कॉल होता है, रीडायरेक्ट कहाँ होगा? सर ये बिल्ट इन फंक्शन है, उसकी डेफिनेशन पार्ट पे। अंडरस्टूड? ऑलरेडी पाइथन के अंदर, राइट, यूजर डिफाइंड फंक्शन नहीं है प्रिंट, प्रिंट बिल्ट इन फंक्शन है। जब आप प्रिंट लिखते हैं तो उसको कॉल करते हैं, उसकी डेफिनेशन पे जाके चला जाएगा, वो रीडायरेक्ट हो जाएगा। ओके, यस, व्हाट इज द आंसर फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन, स्टूडेंट? Yes, everyone reply answer for this question. Yes, student. Yes, everyone reply answer for this question. So this is saying let Z be Z be an array of 10 elements with Zi equals to 2 for I equals to 0 to 9. Zi equals to 2 for I 0 to 9. Zi equals to what? So the every value is 2 student. This is initialized 2. Okay. Now the value written by fun is you are calling for this function, the value written by this one. Okay. So if you call this function, then redirect here. So a is pointing to what student here? This a is pointing to this Z, and n is pointing to this 10, and m is pointing to this 2. Okay. A and m. Okay. So a is redirect to this one. And sir, what is n? N is pointing to this 10 student. What is m? M is 2. Okay. And what is s student? S equals to a0. So s equals to a0. What is a0 student? S equals to a0 means this z0. This is 2. Okay. Now this for loop I in the range 1 to n minus 1. So for loop, right here for loop, sir, for sir I in range 1 to n minus 1. It means what, sir? 1 to 9. 1 to 9. How many times this loop runs, sir? 1 to 8. This goes to 1 to 8 student. 1 to 8 times. Okay. Okay. So I equals to, if I equals to 1, I equals to 1, 2, I equals to 3, I equals to 4, 8 times. When I equals to 1 student, then what is the expression? I equals to 1, then what, sir? If I equals to 1, then m equals to m into s plus ai. Sir, what does it means? This means, sir, m equals to what? M into s, yani ki 2 into 2. This 2 into 2 plus what, sir? ai. What is ai? a1 means z1. Kitna hai? Sir, it is 2. So this is what, student? 6. Understood? Similarly, sir, I equals to 2. Now next time I equals to 2. This loop again come to this one. I equals to 2. Then same formula, sir. M equals to m into s plus ai. So m equals to So what is updated m? Student, this is 6 into s is 2 and this is 2. 6 2 is 12. 12 plus 2, 14. This is 14. Right. Similarly for I equals to 3, sir, this m equals to same formula बच्चे मैं direct लिख रहा हूँ अब 14 into 2 plus 2. So 28 plus 2 is 30. So this is 30, student. And next for I equals to 4, 60 and this is 62. Okay. So is there any relationship? Don't calculate for every value I equals to 8 के लिए. Is there any formula? Yes, sir. This you can write this in formula 2 की power I plus 2 minus 2. This pattern is same. All pattern is same, student. So I is 1 right here. I equals to 1. So I equals to 1. 2 की power 3. 8 minus 2, 6. Yes, you will get 6. Correct, sir. When I equals to 2 रखा right here. I equals to 2. 2 की power 2 plus 2. 16 minus 2 is 14. You will get 14. This is the right answer. I equals to 3, sir. I equals to 3 रखा. So it will be what? 3 plus 2 is 5. 2 की power 5 is 32 minus 2. This is 30. Yes, correct. You will get what, sir? 30. Correct answer. I equals to 4 रखा. तो आंसर क्या होगा बच्चे? Sir, 2 की power 4 plus 2. What, sir? 64 minus 2, 62. Yes, correct answer. When I equals to 8, because the range function, this goes to up to 8. I equals to 8, then what you will get is 2 की power, sir, 8 plus 2 minus 2. That is okay. Understood. So this is the answer, student. Now scope rule, बच्चे. Local scope and there are two types of scope. Global scope, बच्चे. A local variable is a variable that is defined inside a function or a block of code and can only be accessed within that function or block. Okay. Local variable are created when a function is called. They are destroyed when a function execution is completed. Okay. For example, define my fun x equals to 10 inside function this x my fun. Here I am calling this function bache. This I am calling this function my fun and print x. What is the output here is shown? There are two types of function, two types of parameter, local as well as global. So local scope within the function, within the block, right? Whenever you exit, when you exit from that block, then this dead, वो मर जाएगा बच्चे, right? Okay. जब तक आप इस ब्लॉक के अंदर इस एक्स को आप एक्सेस कर सकते हैं, इसका स्कोप कहाँ तक है? यहाँ तक है, राइट? दायरा इसका, इसकी लाइफ कहाँ तक है? ओनली यहाँ तक. एक्सटेंट इज लोकल एज वेल एज स्कोप इज लोकल. ऑल राइट स्टूडेंट, दोनों में अंतर क्या होता है? दोनों में अंतर होता है स्कोप का मतलब है दायरा कहाँ तक, कहाँ का किस ब्लॉक ऑफ कोड तक एक्सेस हो जाएगा, एंड एक्सटेंट मीन्स लाइफ टाइम, कब तक जिंदा रहेगा ये, राइट? सो x is local to my function and cannot be accessed outside of it. Why, sir? Why so? Because the local variable is stored in the stack segment, student. When this I am calling this function, then activation record created. Activation record is created. My fun, you call my fun. Sir, x equals to what? Sir, x equals to 10. ये memory इसके लिए allocated है. X equals to 10. Okay. So inside the function, the output is what, sir? Here this line is printed. No problem with this line, student. This line print what? Inside function 10. ये line print होगा. Okay. inside function 10, this is the output. But when you return back, then you goes to next line of this code, next line this. Then after returning, this is dead, student, right? X is dead. If you print this X, error because X is not defined. The output here, what, sir? It generate error because X is not defined. Error because X not defined. Okay, so X is local to my function and cannot be accessed outside of it. All right, student. Now global scope, student. A global variable is a variable that is defined outside of any function or block and is accessible throughout the entire program, including inside function also. Global variables are created when the program start and remain in memory until the program ends. They can be accessed and modified inside function, but to modify them, you need to use global keyword. So what is global variable, bache? Global variable is a variable that defined outside scope of any function. First thing, global variable is a variable that defined outside scope of any function, right? You can access global variable entire program, right? And the lifetime of global variable, life of global variable is entire whole program globally, and scope भी क्या है, sir? Globally है. Okay, student. But if you want to modify global variable inside a function, then you have to use global keyword for that, right? क्या keyword use करना पड़ेगा? Sir, you have to use global keyword. So for X equals to 20, this is global variable. Global variable define my function. This is the function definition, my fun. When this function, you jump here, when you call this function, here I am calling this function, and you jump. Inside function, क्या print होगा बच्चे? Inside function 20, and you return back. After you return back, go to next line. Outside function is 20. Why, sir? Because global variable entire पूरे program जिंदा रहेंगे बच्चे, इनका scope globally है, तो इसलिए that's why inside output is inside function 20 and outside function is 20. Okay, output क्या आएगा? Inside function 20, outside function 20, right, student? Now modifying global variable inside function. I want to modify global variable inside function. Then what should I do, sir? If you want to modify global variable inside a function, you need to declare it as a global, or you have to use as a global keyword, student. For X equals to 20, this is a global variable, student. Define modifying global. This is the definition of modifying global, bache. Okay, and global equals to X. Here this global keyword, this give permission to you. You can update global variable inside this function, student. Right? Look here. But to modify them, you need to use the global keyword, student. Okay. So without this global keyword, you cannot modify. It generate a you cannot modify X equals to 50. You cannot modify this, student. I want to modify this global keyword, then you have to use this global keyword, this global keyword, right? So global X means you want to convert X equals to 50. So it become what, sir? 50. Okay. Just a minute, student. This is a global. Okay, this is the definition of modifying global variable. When you enter at this definition, when you call here, I am calling modifying global function. I am calling this function. So global X, you are updating this one as 50. Okay. After returning this one, आफ्टर मॉडिफिकेशन x क्या प्रिंट होगा बच्चे? दिस इज 50. After modification, this is the output. After modification, output is 50. All right. So what is the use of global keyword, bache? Use of global keyword. Global keyword serve two purpose. Global keyword student serves two purpose. This is very important, student. Global keyword term two purpose, student. First one, modifying existing global variable inside a function. Second is, there is no existing global variable, we need to define global variable inside a function. So let's discuss one by one. First, modify existing global variable inside the function. If you want to modify global variable inside the function, then you have to use this global keyword, right? Let x equals to 300. This is a global variable, student. Now define my fun global x, right? Global x equals to 5, my fun and print x. So this is the definition of function. So here I am calling this function, student, my fun global x. Yes, with the help of this global keyword, you can update global variable inside the function, right? So x equals to 5. So this value is what, sir? 5. So my fun print x. What it print? This print 5. Second thing, there is no existing global variable. We need to define global variable inside the function. Inside the function. So I forget to define, sir, global variable outside the scope of any function. Then you can define global variable inside the function also. Kaise, sir? How? With the help of global keyword. So define function. This is the body of this fun. Right here I am writing global x equals to 5. This x is what, student? This is a global variable. You can access this x in any function, right, student? Okay, globally, and print inside x. What is this? This 5. But kab, sir, first you call this function. Just minute, student. This is the body of this function. When I call this function, then you enter this body and global x equals to 5. Inside x, it will be what? So this is 5. And after returning, next line execute to outside x, this is also 5. Okay. So this is the purpose of global keyword, bache. Okay. So what will be the output of the following code? Yes, student, everyone reply answer. Sir, a equals to 2, b equals to 3. These are the global variable. And here I am global a. So I am using global keyword for a. So you can update only a, right? You can update only a, not b, student. So here I am updating the a. So a equals to 10. I want to update this a equals to global word. Sir, what about b? B is the local variable of this multiply function. Understood? So program execute top to bottom, student. So when you call this multiply function, then you enter this definition part. A is global. You are updating global variable. So this is 10, and b is a local variable of this multiply function. Print a into b. What it print, student? Yes. What it print? Sir, b is a local variable 200, and global access. So this is 20 into 10 is 200. Now after this line, I'm come to this line, but this is the definition. Now I'm calling this part. Add print a plus b. What it print? Sir, a x is global. This is 10. Sir, b is also x is global. Sir, 13. So it will be what, sir? 13 is the answer for this question. Okay. So very simple. Now both is global, student. So very simple, both is global A and both global. So here I am calling this multiply function, then global AB, and here updating this global, this is 10, and here this is 20. So it will be 200. And what about this? After this line, I am calling this add function. You jump to add function and print A plus B. What it print? 10 plus 20. This is 30. Okay. Now, student, what is the output of this one? Yes, lucky. So this is the global variable which this is the definition of multiply function. This is the definition of add function. So program execute from top to bottom. Achhe. So here I am calling multiply function. If you call this multiply function, then global ABC are global variable, and you are updating A and B. So A is become what's at 10, and B is what's at 20. And what is C? C is another. C is what's are 10 and 20. This is 200. Okay. So if you print this, so it print 200. My dear student, with the help of global keyword, you can declare or define global variable inside the function. So C is also global. So after this line, you this is the definition. I am calling this add function. Print A plus B plus C. So what it print? A is 10, sir, B is 20, C is 200. So it will be 230. Okay. This is the answer, student. Now tell me, what is the output of this code? What will be the output of the following code, student? X equals to 20. Define my fun. Print x plus x. So this is a global variable. I am calling this function, student. Print x. What it print? You can access global variable, no problem, student. You cannot update without global keyword. You cannot update global variable inside the function, but you can print. Yes. So this is what's at 20. What about this 20 plus 20? It is 40. And when you return back, you come this, what it print is student, x is not updated. This is the expression not updated, bache. So 20, it print again, set 20. Understood? Now what will be the output of next code? Yes. What is the output of this code, student? Here x equals to 20, this is a global, right? And this, what is the meaning of this line, student? Here I am calling this function my fun. What is the meaning of this line? X equals to x plus 1. You are updating undefined variable, right? You are updating undefined variable. Sir, how can you, sir, dear student, here print is allowed, but this is not allowed. Understood? So look here. if I write here print x, then perfectly it work, no problem, right? If I write here, sir, print x, then perfectly it print what, student? It print what, student? No problem at all. It print what? Sir 20. And after returning, it print also, this print also sir 20. Understood? So for printing, no need to write as a global keyword. You can access this global keyword automatically. When you want to update sir global variable, then you have to use global keyword, right, student? Now, in the next question, in this question, basically you are updating undefined variable, right? Because you cannot access global variable without global keyword. You cannot modify global keyword global variable without global keyword inside the function. Understood? You understand what I'm saying? You cannot modify global variable without global keyword. You can print in case of print, this is access, right? Okay. Even if I write here print x, still this is generate error. Why? Why, sir? Because without global variable, without global keyword, you are updating global keyword. So this theory is fail, student. Then the second thing, you are updating the variable which is not defined inside this function. Understood? So it generate error. Both cases, it generate what, sir? Error. In both cases, it generate error. This is invalid statement, student. This is error. What about this one, student? What about this one? Can I write here? You can write print also, no problem. So this is a global variable. Here I am calling this global variable. Then you jump at the definition part. X is a local to this my fun. Here x is a local variable. Now you can update this x, student. Okay. You can update this x equals to x plus 1. Understood? X equals to 1. Here x equals to x is pointing to, sir, 1. And this is global. This is global x. X is pointing to 1. Now after next line, after first line, you are updating this one. So x plus 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. So x is pointing to this one, right? Updated. And print x, if you print this x, it print what's a 2. When you return back, the scope of this function inside this function, after returning this variable is dead, student. अभी हमने बताया था स्टैक में ये variable dead हो जाएगा. Okay. Print x, ये क्या print करेगा? सर global variable क्या है? सर 20. 2 and 20 is the answer for this question. Yes, student. What is the output of this one? What this code is printing, student? Lucky is asking someone. Lucky, आपकी chat नहीं दिख रही है. In which previous question, Lucky? This one? Because it generate error, student. Without defining, either if you consider local variable without defining, you cannot access without global keyword. You cannot access this global variable, right? So and without defining, you are updating x so that's why it generated error, student. But in this question, this is the local variable, so you are updating local variable and you are printing this, so that's why they print. What about this one, student? Here I am using global keyword, student. This function is called global x. You can update this global variable x equals to x plus 1. Now x equals to x plus 1, and after this line you return at this line and print what, sir? This is 21. Okay, the answer is 21. Yes, student. यस बच्चे आंसर करें. First, tell me the answer of this question, student. What is the answer for this question? Here I am calling, this is the definition of my fun. I am calling this function x is a local variable. You are defining x is a local variable, so it print what, student? Sir, perfectly, it print 1. Sir, when you return back this line, it print what, sir? Global variable. So this is 20. Very simple, sir. इसमें क्या था? It's very simple. What about this one, student? What about this one? Sir, this is the definition. I am calling this function. Yes, student. What is the output of this code? Sir, if this line not in this code, then perfectly you can answer what, sir? You can answer the this print 20 and here 20. Right? Understood, student? Only print, if only print, you can access, sir, global variable. You can access global variable inside any function. But my dear student, this is some different code. So in this code also, student, it generate error. Why, sir? Sir, this is the local variable. The treatment of this is local variable. While without global keyword, you cannot access this, bache. If you write here x equals to 1, this is you cannot modify global variable without global keyword, right? Understood, student? Okay. Sim- but sir, you are writing in this definition print also here, but in this case you cannot modify the global keyword without global variable without global keyword. Apart from this, you are printing this x before the definition of this local variable. The treatment of this, you are defining this variable after print. How x can print as x equals to 1? Understood? So this definition print this must be before print student. अभी आपने इसको बच्चे डिफाइन नहीं किया है इस लाइन पे, इस पे डिफाइन तो किया नहीं है अभी आपने, राइट? और आप प्रिंट करने चले गए पहले, कैसे प्रिंट करेगा, राइट? सो दिस इज ऑल्सो एरर. This code is also contain error issue. Yes. ये तो बच्चे इसमें तो लोकल ट्रीट होगा ना ये. सिमरन, अगर आप यू आर आस्किंग अबाउट दिस इज अ लोकल वेरिएबल. अंडरस्टूड? सो इट प्रिंट 1. अगर ये वेरिएबल नहीं होता तो ये प्रिंट 20 करता, बट यू आर डिफाइनिंग लोकल वेरिएबल सो प्रिंट 1. But here you are defining local variable after print, so that's why this is error, student. Understood? Why so, sir? Because you are printing before definition, so that's why it is error. Understood? Now, what is the output of this one, student? What is the output of this code, student? Yes, everyone reply answer for this question. But in this question, this is global variable and I am calling this one. But in this question, I am passing variable itself also. आप देखेंगे ना, बाकी की जगह पे बच्चे ये खाली था, ये देखो खाली था ना, बाकी की जगह पे ये खाली है ना, कुछ वेरिएबल हम पास नहीं कर रहे हैं इसमें. कोई पैरामीटर आर्गुमेंट पास कर रहे हैं क्या? नहीं कर रहे हैं. बट यहाँ पे हम आर्गुमेंट पास कर रहे हैं बच्चे. ये देखो x. So x equals to 20, my dear student. This is global variable. Okay. And my fun, I am passing this x, a reference of this x. And this x both is different thing, right? This x both is different. Parameter always local, right? हमने आपको बताया था parameter always local. तो ये जो पैरामीटर है ये हमेशा कैसा होगा, लोकल होगा, ठीक है। तो दिस इज डिफरेंट पैरामीटर स्टूडेंट, ओके। सो हियर दिस एक्स, जब आपने पास किया, दिस एक्स इज ऑल्सो पॉइंटिंग टू दिस वन, pointing to this one. Now you are printing this x, student. If you print this x, what it print, student? What it print? Sir, this is local inside the function. X is pointing to 20. Now after this is a local variable, right? This is a different variable as compared to this x. X equals to 10. You are updating the local variable, student. So 10 is a different object stored somewhere else in the memory, and x is pointing to this one. Now this x is pointing to this one, okay. And after this you are printing this one, so it print what's a 10. When you return back at this line, so this all local variable dead, student. All local variable dead, मर जाएंगे जैसे ही आप return back होंगे. कौन जिंदा रहेगा sir? Global variable. You are accessing this, so it print what, sir? This is 20. So this is the output, student, okay. 20 10 20. 10 20 20 नहीं होगा बच्चे, 20 पहले आएगा. पहला प्रिंट क्या होगा सर? 20, फिर 10 और फिर ये 20. नाउ एक और बच्चे, ये जो कीवर्ड आपको दिख रहा है नॉन लोकल दिख रहा है यहाँ पे, इज इट विजिबल? नो सर, इज इट, दिस इज नॉट विजिबल. Sir, another keyword non-local, okay, just like a global, another is non-local. Sir, what is local variable? Current function variable. Current function variable is known as what, sir? Local variable, okay. Non-local is what? Current function variable is known as what, sir? Sir, local variable, right. And non-local variable क्या होगा? Outer enclosing function variable. Outer enclosing function variable is known as non-local variable. And global, a global variable of entire program. फंक्शन के पाइथन के अंदर बच्चे फंक्शन को भी हम नेस्टेड कर सकते हैं, ओके. इन पाइथन प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज वी कैन फंक्शन के अंदर भी फंक्शन बना सकते हैं, नेस्टेड कर सकते हैं, राइट. नॉट ओनली फ्लो कंट्रोल स्टेटमेंट, जस्ट लाइक ए नेस्टेड इफ, नेस्टेड लूप, फंक्शन भी नेस्टेड आप कर सकते हैं. अंडरस्टूड स्टूडेंट? सो नॉन लोकल क्या है? करेंट फंक्शन वेरिएबल. नॉन लोकल आउटर एनक्लोजिंग फंक्शन वेरिएबल. एंड ग्लोबल, ग्लोबल वेरिएबल ऑफ एंटायर प्रोग्राम. For example, define outer function. This is the outer function definition. X equals to 10. Define outer function contain nested function. Sir, inner function inside the outer function. This is a nested function, bache, right? Function inside function. Function inside function. This is the outer function x equals to 10, and define inner x equals to 20. Inner x, this x, and this is the, I am calling here inner function. Print outer function x, I am calling outer function. Okay. So look here, student. This is the definition of outer function. Here I am calling this outer function, right? I am calling outer function. So x equals to 10 is what, student? X equals to 10 outer function का variable है. This is outer function variable, right? Outer function variable. Okay, so x equals to 10. Now when I will enter in this inner function, sir, after I am calling here this inner function, so you enter this one, x equals to 20. So this is inner function local variable. Okay, and it print inner x. Output क्या आएगा? What is the output here? First A line, inner x. What is x? Is 20. Inner x 20. Right? After this line, you go to at this line, outer x. Outer x is what, sir? 10. So this is the output, student. Inner x 20, outer x is 10. What is the output of this code, student? Define outer x equals to 10. Define inner non-local x. X 20 है. Inner x, inner I'm calling, outer x calling. What is the output of this code, student? Yes, student, what is the output of this code? Yes, student, what is your output? Global keyword refer to, sir, global variable. Similarly, non-local keyword, this non-local keyword refer to what, sir? Outer function variable. Just outer function, enclosure outer function variable. So my dear student, this is the definition of outer function. So here I am calling this outer function. You goes to outer function definition part, and x equals to this 10. X equals to 10. This is the outer function variable, outer function variable, outer function x. Okay, and inner is a nested function inside the outer function. So this is nested function inner. Non-local x, sir, this non-local x is refer to what, sir? No, with the help of non-local keyword you can refer outer function variable. With the help of global keyword you can refer global keyword. So you are referring, sir, this is what, sir? You are referring this, right, student? So you are updating x equals to 20. So this is what is 20. Now print inner x. Output क्या आएगा? What is output? Inner x. You are updating inner x. Sir, what is x? You are referring this. So this is 20. Okay. First of all, ये call होगा बच्चे. Then after this, we are doing. First of all, this call, and then non-local x. This is updating x equals to 20. Inner x, x 20. Okay. Okay. And after this, outer x is 20. So this is the output, student. inner x20, outer x20, non-local x. So output is 2020. Now student, what is the output of this question? Yes, everyone reply answer for this question, student. Yes, student, what is the output of this question? So this is the outside scope of any function. Here, this is global variable, student. Okay. And x equals to 50. Outer function variable. Non-local keyword means what, sir? Referring to outer function variable, right? It is referring to outer function variable. Okay, fine. So now how, sir, execution start from? Sir, this is the definition. When I will enter in this definition, when you will call. So here I am calling this function, student. I am calling this function. Okay. So I am calling this outer function. So x equals to 50. This is the outer function variable, and this is the definition of inner function. When we will enter in this definition when you call. So here I am calling this inner function, right? I am calling. So non-local x. X is referring to outer function variable x. Now x equals to 25. You are updating the outer function variable, sir. X equals to 25. So you are updating this one, student, right? 25. Now inner non-local x. It print first. It print what, sir? Non-local x. What this x is 25. Okay. After completion of this, you return back in the next line. Next line is what, sir? Outer x. Outer x. You print what, sir? X. Sir, outer function variable x is again, sir, this is 25. Okay. Now after execution of this calling, you return back in the next line of this outer function variable global x. Global x equals to what, kya, sir? 100. So this is the output, student. 25, 25, 100. This is the output, student. 25, 25, 100. All right. Okay. Now next, this is the question. Yes, everyone reply answer for this question. Same output. My dear student, this is global variable. Okay. It is referring to global variable, right? Okay. Non-local x, it is referring to outer. Okay, fine. Now, dear student, this is the definition. Here I am defining outer function. So this is the definition of outer function, right? Sir, when we will enter in this definition, जब आप call करेंगे बच्चों, when you call this outer function, then you will enter, you will control jump at the definition part, right? कब आप इसमें अंदर जाएंगे? जब आप इसे बुलाएंगे. सर कैसे बुलाएंगे? सर फंक्शन का नेम लिखिए. सो आपने फंक्शन का नेम लिखा, आपने कॉल किया यहाँ पे, राइट? एग्जीक्यूशन स्टार्ट कैसे होगा? टॉप टू बॉटम. So top to bottom, this outer function, this function is called, you enter at the definition part of outer function. Now global x, so global x, this is referring to global variable. So you are updating the global variable is x equals to 50. So this is 50. Now inside this outer, this another function, nested function, define inner non-local x. So this non-local x is what? Referring to outer function variable, and you are updating the non-local variable set 25. Is there any local variable inside the outer function? बच्चे, is there any variable inside the outer function? Say something. क्या outer function का अपना कोई local variable है? Is there any local variable inside the outer function? Say something. No, sir. Right? This keyword is used to refer what, sir? Outer function variable, but there is no outer function variable. This is the this x is referring to global variable. You are updating global variable, but there is no local variable of this outer function. So this is a error, student. You are referring to outer function variable, so this is error. Understood? So here this is what, sir? Error. So this code print what, student? Error. Understood? Why this code print error? Understood, student? What is the output of this code, student? Yes, I am repeating again, bache. Sir, in this code, this is a global variable, right? And inside the outer function, this global keyword means what? You are updating the global keyword. There is no local variable inside this outer function. इसका अपना कोई वेरिएबल नहीं है बच्चे आउटर फंक्शन के अंदर। फिर इनर के अंदर हमने क्या किया, नॉन लोकल एक्स। इस नॉन लोकल कीवर्ड का मतलब क्या होता है सर, ये जो एक्स है ये किसको रेफर करेगा, ये एक्स किसके लिए है सर, जो आउटर फंक्शन का लोकल वेरिएबल है। बट इसके अंदर तो कुछ है ही नहीं सर कोई, ये तो ग्लोबल वेरिएबल को अपडेट कर रहे हैं। तो ये क्या होगा बच्चे, दिस इज एरर स्टूडेंट। ओके, सो यू आर अपडेटिंग सर, यू आर अपडेटिंग व्हाट सर, सर आउटर फंक्शन के वेरिएबल को अपडेट करना चाह रहे हैं बट कोई है ही नहीं है सर उसके अंदर, तो एरर हो जाएगा। ओके, इसका आंसर बताएं बच्चे। सेम थिंग सर इन द एज प्रीवियस कोड स्टूडेंट, x इक्वल टू 10 स्टूडेंट डिफाइन आउटर फंक्शन दिस, ये कैसा है बच्चे, ग्लोबल वेरिएबल है ना x इक्वल टू 10। ओके, और ग्लोबल x ये इसको रेफर करेगा x इक्वल टू 20, ये कितना हो जाएगा 20, कब होगा, लेकिन पहले ये देखो यहाँ से कॉल होगा, जब आप इसे बुलाएंगे तब ये काम होगा। फिर डिफाइन इनर है, फिर हमने इनर को कॉल कर दिया बच्चे, इनर कॉल हुआ नॉन लोकल एक्स, ये नॉन लोकल एक्स किसको रेफर करेगा सर, आउटर फंक्शन के वेरिएबल को रेफर करेगा, बट आउटर में अपना तो कुछ है ही नहीं सर लोकल, सो यू आर अपडेटिंग दिस वन, सो नॉन लोकल, सो दिस इज एरर। So D is the answer for this question. चलो बच्चे, what is the output of the following code? Is it visible? क्या आपको दिख रहा है बच्चे ये कोड, ब्लर है क्या? Yes, little bit blur, but visible है स्टूडेंट। What is the output of uh, this code? So बच्चे, this is the definition of outer function. Here I am calling this outer function. Okay, ये outer function का variable है x equals to 5. Okay, this is nested function inside the outer function inner. Sorry, when this is the definition of inner function, when it will call you, I am calling global x. Global x keyword means you can update sir global variable with the help of this global keyword x equals to 15. So this is updated and it is 15 student, right? And after this you come here and print this. Okay, so if it print सर, कौन पहले प्रिंट होगा, ग्लोबल या लोकल सर, लोकल का स्कोप ज़्यादा होता है ना, घर वालों की वैल्यू ज़्यादा होती है, बाहर वालों की बच्चे, घर वालों की वैल्यू ज़्यादा होती है ना, तो यहाँ x क्या प्रिंट होगा सर 5, बाहर निकल के सर ये बाहर वाला, अब तो ये लोकल सारे डेड हो जाएंगे, ये क्या प्रिंट करेगा 15। सो आई थिंक बी इज द राइट आंसर फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन, 515 इज द राइट आंसर। चलो बच्चे, इसका आंसर बताएं। Yes, student. My dear student, this is the definition of add function. And here I am calling this add function. If you call this add function, so it print what? It print a plus b. क्या आएगा sir? 3. Now here I am modifying this add function again. So is it error, student? Can I write as the name of function, same function name? Okay. Yes, you can write, right? No problem. So here I am calling this function, student. I am calling this function ABC. So a plus b plus c, is it what, sir? 6. What about this one? Here I am calling add 1 2. Which function is called? Sir, control कहाँ जाएगा? इस पर या इस पर? Yes, student. कंट्रोल कहाँ जंप करेगा बच्चे? Definition part में, here I am calling add 1 2. This jump to this or this one, because this is the last updated definition, right? So ये कहाँ jump करेगा? इस पे या इस पे? Definition part पे. Sir, it always jump at the last updated definition of function, right? In Python, you can write you can update function, you can define function with the same name, right? Multiple time, no problem. But if you call function, then it jump last updated definition. So the last updated definition part here, this is the last updated definition part. So this is called to this one. But my dear student, here only 2 argument and this is 3 parameters. This is mismatching. So it generate what, sir? Error. In this case, it generate error. Sir, is there any solution here? Sir, only 2 argument and 3 parameters. So this is the problem. Understood, student? How we can manage, how we can handle this type of error? So the concept is what's our default, right? Default concept, default argument, default parameter concept. Okay, we'll discuss shortly, student. Okay, so here this is the problem. Now this is known as argument and the definition part, this is known as, sir, parameters. Okay, so the next concept is, sir, parameters and argument. What is parameter and what is argument, student? This is the definition, student. In the definition part, this is the definition. A and B are parameters. A and B are what, sir? Parameters. Parameters and local scope and always variable, student. Always this is a variable, right? Okay. And this is the calling time concept. This is the argument, student. Sir, argument 4 and 5 are argument. Understood, student? And here this is also argument. So argument may be, sir, it may be constant or variable or expression, but parameter always what, sir? Variable. Understood, student? सर, इनको क्या बोलते हैं बच्चे? पैरामीटर. पैरामीटर हमेशा लोकल होते हैं और ये हमेशा वेरिएबल होंगे. रिपीटिशन यहाँ पे अलाउड नहीं होगा, राइट? Duplicate parameters are not allowed. Okay, so these are the parameters and here this is argument. Sir, 4 and 5 are argument. It may be constant. Here I and j, this is the calling time concept. Bache. I and j are argument. This may be variable or you can write expression 2 plus 3, 5 plus 4 like this. Is okay, so this is the difference between parameters and argument, student. Parameters always variable, whereas argument is variable, value or expression. Parameters, it can be duplicate parameters are not allowed, student. Duplicate parameters not allowed, but duplicate argument allowed, student. Okay. Sir, what is the meaning of this one? बच्चे फंक्शन में ये कॉलन लगाना होता है आपको जब डिफाइन करेंगे ना, ये कॉलन। ओके, ध्यान रखना, मैंने आपको बताया नहीं था। सर डुप्लीकेट, दिस इज द डेफिनेशन फंक्शन की। सर दिस इज नॉट अलाउड, डुप्लीकेट पैरामीटर्स नॉट अलाउड, राइट? सो दिस इज नॉट वैलिड। So this is not valid. Understood? This is not valid. Whereas duplicate arguments allowed, बच्चे कैसे सर? You can duplicates, you can write here 4 4. Duplicate means sir you can write 4 4, no problem. This is allowed, student. What is the problem here? So in calling time, sir 4 4, yes sir, this is allowed, no problem. Okay. Define, this is the defined time concept parameter, and this is the calling time concept, kya? Argument. Okay. So that's all parameters and argument. Now sir, types of argument. First discuss बच्चे types of argument. There are 3 types of argument बच्चे: positional argument, keyword argument and default argument. Okay. Positional argument, keyword argument and default argument. Sir, what is positional argument, what is keyword argument and what is default argument, student? So let's understand with this example, student. So define show function a comma b, print a b, and I am calling show function 2 comma 3. Okay. सो बच्चे इनको क्या बोलते हैं? जब आप इनको कॉल कर रहे हैं, यू आर कॉलिंग विथ 2 3 डायरेक्टली, सो ये क्या होते हैं? ये 2 3, दिस 2 3 डायरेक्टली कांस्टेंट वैल्यू, दिस इज पोजिशनल आर्गुमेंट, दिस इज नॉन एज व्हाट स्टूडेंट? पोजिशनल आर्गुमेंट. और बच्चे इस तरह से जब आप लिखेंगे वेरिएबल, इस तरह से लिखे, इनको क्या बोलते हैं? कीवर्ड आर्गुमेंट. ओके. So here I am calling this function, so function 2 3. So a equals to 2, b equals to 3, print a comma b. What it print is student? In this case it print output is 2 3. First case this output is 2 3. Okay. After this again I am calling this function, which again I am calling this so function, but with use a keyword argument. So a and b are keyword argument, it print a b. So output is what, sir? In this case output is 1 2. Understood? What about this one, student? In the so case, here I am calling this function in the next lines. What it print is, student? So it needs 2 parameters, but there is no argument here, so it shows error, student. It generate what, sir? Error. Sir, what is the solution for this type of error, student? Then the next concept आपका क्या है? Default argument. This is positional argument, this is keyword argument. What is default argument, student? So for removing this type of error, for handle this type of error, we will use default argument concept, student. So what is default? Let's understand with this example, student. Okay. So here this 2 3, ये क्या है sir? Positional argument. इनको हम positional arguments बोलते हैं, and this is known as what, sir? Keyword argument. Understood? And sir, inside the definition of this function, here I am passing default value a equals to 0, b equals to 1. This is known as default argument. Understood? default argument. Okay, so now the output of this code, sir, this is the definition show function. I am calling this show function. Okay, so ये कब कंसिडर होगा, अगर डिफॉल्ट होगा. डिफॉल्ट के केस में ये यू आर पासिंग पोजिशनल आर्गुमेंट, सो आउटपुट इज व्हाट स्टूडेंट, you are passing positional argument na, so print ab, so it print what student, set 2 3. After this again you are calling this function, so here you are passing sir keyword argument na, so output is what sir, in the next line sir 1 2. Okay, fine. After this you are calling again. In this case it consider default argument a equals to 0, b equals to 1, so output is 0 1. All right, so this is the output student, 2 3 1 2 and 0 1. Okay, ये क्या कर दिया मैंने भाई, ओ शिट, क्या हुआ. So if you call this, so output is here set 2 3. For this output is sir 1 2, and for this default 0 1. So this is the output. Okay, it's 2 3 1 2 0 1. Okay, students, so this is the output. Now next, this is the question, student. What is the output of this question? Define so a b equals to 1, print a comma b. This so function 2 3 and a equals to 1, b equals to 2. So what is the output, student? Yes, student, reply. Everyone reply answer. What is the output of this one? What is the output of this one? What is the output of this one? My dear student, this is positional argument. In this case, it print what? AB. So it print 2 3 positional argument. And here this is a keyword argument. It print what, student? 1. It print 1 2. And here I am passing what, sir? Sir, this is default argument. Here this is default argument. And here this is what's a non-default argument. Non-default argument. Okay, so here I am passing such so function 4. Then student, no, a consider 4 because this is non-default. Okay, if you call this, then the output of this one. If you call this, then this is output. And if you call this function, then a is pointing to what? So this a is non-default na, so you have to pass at least one non-default na. So this 4 is non-default. This is non-default. Okay, sir, second value I'm not passing here, so second consider default, student. So output is what? क्या आउटपुट होगा बच्चे? सर 4 and सर 1. Now what is the output of this line? If you write this line, then the output of this line is what? Yes. Uddhav is going to finish at least. I need only 15 minutes. So next part, recursion and lambda function, filter function, map function we'll discuss in tomorrow class. Okay, Uddhav. Tomorrow means next class. Okay. So I need only 15 minutes more. So let's complete it. Okay, first. So in the show function, sir, in this is the definition part. Only one sir default argument. Sir, this is non-default. You have to pass at least one non-default argument. So if you are not passing non-default argument, then what is a student? So it generate error. So this is error. And what is the ordering of this one, sir? First define non-default argument, then default argument. First define what, student? First define non-default, then default. Here I am writing first non-default, then default argument. This is the ordering. Okay, student? What is the output of this code, student? What is the output of this code, student? First define non-default argument, bache, then default argument. The order is what, sir? First define non-default, then default. So here you are passing what, sir? First you are passing default, then non-default. So order is mismatch, bache. This order is mismatch. It first should ये क्या है? This is default. Here this is default and this is non-default. Okay. So this is invalid, student. This is invalid. So this is not allowed here. This is invalid. Understood, student? This is invalid ordering. Okay. So error आएगा बच्चे. क्या आएगा सर? Error. So first you have to define non-default argument, then default argument. Now, student, next concept, sir, this one. First we pass positional argument. Similarly for positional argument, first we pass positional argument, then keyword argument, student. Then keyword argument. So here I am calling this show function, bache. First we pass positional argument, then keyword argument. So show function, sir, this is positional. First we pass what, sir? Positional argument, then keyword argument. So a equals to 1, b equals to 2, treat. So output of this one is what, sir? 1, 2, correct? No problem. This is correct. Okay. What about second, sir? Second, this is not valid because you are first passing. क्या होना चाहिए, sir? First we pass positional argument, then keyword argument. Here you are passing first keyword argument, then positional argument. So it generate what is student? Error. So this is not allowed here. This is not allowed here. This order is not good, not correct. Understood? Now next, types of parameters. We'll discuss types of parameter. बच्चे ब्रेक ले लेते हैं, 2 3 4 5 मिनट का ब्रेक ले लेते हैं, लंबा ब्रेक नहीं लेते हैं। लंबा ब्रेक नहीं लेते हैं बच्चे, छोटा ब्रेक ले लेते हैं। वी विल मीट, मुझे लग रहा है 15 मिनट से ज़्यादा टाइम लग जाएगा। ब्रेक फॉर अराउंड 10 मिनट, 10 मिनट्स मीट। हम लोग कितने पे मिलेंगे सर? 12:08 पे, ओके। 12:10, 12:10 या 12:08? ओके बच्चे 10 मिनट का ब्रेक ले लेते हैं, क्योंकि मुझे 15 मिनट में नहीं हो पाएगा, उसमें लगभग मुझे लग रहा है आधा घंटा लग जाएगा। सो आप ब्रेक ले लीजिए, 10 मिनट का ब्रेक है, उसके बाद हम लोग 12:08 पे मिलते हैं। ओके आपको जाना नहीं है कहीं? 12:08 पे हम लोग फिर से क्लास स्टार्ट करेंगे। अभी कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट हैं आज की क्लास के, वो हमें डिस्कस करना है, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट। ओके So now next, types of parameters, student. Positional only parameters, student. Sir, positional only parameters. Sir, define, so AB at the last, this is this forward slash, student. Here all parameters before this slash become positional only, that is can accept only positional argument, that is it can accept only positional argument. All right, so here I am calling this function, student. So what is the output here? So 1 and 2 are positional, so yes, perfectly, sir. Output is 1 2, output is 1 2. But if I call this function a equals to 1, b equals to 2, but the in definition part, this slash indicate what? All parameters before this slash become positional only, that is can accept only positional argument. But this is what, sir? Keyword argument. So that's why it generate what, sir? Error. It generate error, student, because of this is keyword argument. Okay, so this is not allowed. Now next is keyword only. What is the syntax for keyword only? So write define function, this is so function, and right here this is star a comma b. All parameters, sir, after this star, all parameter after this star become keyword only, that is can accept only keyword argument, that is it can accept only keyword argument. All right, student. So if here I am printing this code, so this is positional argument, so that's why this is, it generate error. Sir, why error? Because this is positional. Sir, in this case it generate what? In this case it produce output, sir, 1 2. So this is correct. Okay, because this is positional argument, so that's why this is error. Understood? So what is the output of this code, student? So this is too lengthy. Let's remove it. इसका बताएं. What is the output of this one, student? Yes, very good. Okay, so here I am calling this function who a0 0 0 0, this function. Okay, so these are the default argument. You are not passing any argument, so it consider default argument. The output of this is what, sir? 0 0 0. कितने हैं? 4 0 है ना? Yes. Okay. Now in this case, who won? सो नॉन डिफॉल्ट ये बच्चे कंसिडर हो जाएगा 1, बाकी के सारे डिफॉल्ट कंसिडर हो जाएंगे. यू आर पासिंग 1 पोजिशनल आर्गुमेंट, सो 1 0 0 0. व्हाट अबाउट दिस लाइन, स्टूडेंट? सर 1 2 3 4 ऑल पोजिशनल, 1 2 3 4. व्हाट अबाउट दिस वन, स्टूडेंट? सर 1 2 इज पोजिशनल एंड 3 4 इज व्हाट, सर? कीवर्ड आर्गुमेंट, सो इट कंसिडर होगा. यू कैन चेंज ऑर्डर, right? You can change order, no problem at all. Okay, So here you are printing ABCD, so that's why the output is, sir, this is position and keyword argument 3 and 4. What about this one, student? Positional is what, sir? Sir, 1, and C is what, sir? 3, and D is 4. What about B? B is considered default, this 0. Okay. What about this one? Sir, A 0, B 0. Sir, consider default 0, 0. C is 3, and this is 4. So 0, 0, 3, 4, this is the answer. Okay, so this is the answer. Now positional or keyword. If positional or keyword, accept both positional or keyword, no need to mention here, don't mention sir forward slash or initial star, then it consider. अगर positional होगा तो positional accept हो जाएगा, if keyword तो keyword accept हो जाएगा, right? It is your choice. So this is positional, so output of here this is 2, 3, and this one is keyword, so output of this one keyword 1, 2. Okay. Variable length positional only, student. Next is variable length positional only. So this is fourth type, student. Defines this so function, and here star A. This is variable length positional only, student. So it can accept 0 to n positional argument, and all argument are received in tuple, student. It can accept 0 to n. It can accept what, sir? It can accept 0 to n positional argument, and all argument are received in tuple. Okay. Sir, क्या मतलब हुआ? Sir, sir, all are positional. Sir, variable length positional only. It can accept variable length positional only, right? So here I am calling this function. Then what will happen, student? And what it print? In this case, it can accept 0 to n positional argument and all argument received in tuple. So what is the output in tuple, sir? Student, 10, 20, 30. Now variable length, here 3 length, and this length is 2. So function 10, 2, 20, 10, 20. So length is 2. So it can accept a equals to what, sir? 2 हो जाएगा, तो output के tuple के form में sir 10, 20. सर यहाँ एक भी नहीं है. If you call this one, so the output is variable length empty tuple. Okay. So यहाँ पे इतने सारे आप पास कर रहे हैं, तो क्या हो जाएगा आउटपुट? 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the answer. Sir, what is the use of this type? What is the use of this variable length positional only? This is the use, student. This is the use. Yes. What is the output of this line number 1, line number 2, line number 3, and line number 4? What is the output of line number 1, बच्चे? What is the output of line number 1? Simran Kumari is saying 100. Why 100? Sir, print add to 3. So here I am calling this function. This is a variable length positional only. Sir, this is a star. This syntax, it follow this syntax, student. Star A. So variable length, number contain tuple. Number is become a tuple, is pointing to tuple. Variable length. Sir, here 2 positional. So इसके according हो जाएगा. Total equals to 0. Num in numbers. So total equals to total plus num. So basically it is doing what? It is sum of this function, sum of these all. So 5 आंसर आ जाएगा बच्चे इसका, इस कोड के अकॉर्डिंग. टोटल इक्वल्स टू टोटल प्लस नम, राइट? सो इनिशियली टोटल 0 है, 0 + 2, फिर 0 + 3 इक्वल्स टू 5. ओके सर, जितनी वैल्यू आप इसमें पास करेंगे उसके अकॉर्डिंग सम कर देगा ये, राइट? दिस इज द बेनिफिट ऑफ दिस वेरिएबल लेंथ पोजिशनल ओनली. आपने 3 पास किया, 3 का सम हो जाएगा, कितना आएगा बच्चे? 10 हो जाएगा. ओके आपने 4 पास कर दिया, तो 4 का सम हो गया, क्या आ जाएगा सर 17 इस लॉजिक से। ओके, एंड ये रिटर्न कर देगा टोटल हेयर। आपने 5 पास कर दिया ये इसके अकॉर्डिंग, तो इनका सम हो जाएगा बच्चे 17 एंड 9 26, एंड ये 26 एंड रिटर्न टोटल, टोटल यहाँ आएगा एंड 26 आउटपुट आ जाएगा 5 10 17 26। ओके, तो कितना इजी हो गया आपके लिए, जैसे फ्रीक्वेंट राइट, कितना इजी है कि अकॉर्डिंग टू योर सिचुएशन कि कितने आर्गुमेंट्स हैं कितने राइट, उसके अकॉर्डिंग सम कर दे, उसके अकॉर्डिंग मल्टीप्लाई कर दे। तो इस तरह से आप इजीली इस तरह के क्वेश्चन कर सकते हैं। नाउ नेक्स्ट वेरिएबल लेंथ कीवर्ड ओनली बच्चे। तो आई थिंक दिस इज द फिफ्थ कैटेगरी, वेरिएबल लेंथ कीवर्ड ओनली। सर फॉर वेरिएबल लेंथ कीवर्ड ओनली के लिए राइट हियर 2 स्टार, राइट हियर 2 स्टार ए, इट कैन एक्सेप्ट 0 to n कीवर्ड आर्गुमेंट एंड ऑल आर्गुमेंट आर रिसीव्ड इन डिक्शनरी बच्चे। ऑल आर्गुमेंट रिसीव्ड इन व्हाट सर, रिसीव्ड इन व्हाट सर, डिक्शनरी, right? So this indicate 2 star indicate it can accept 0 to n keyword argument and all argument received in dictionary. So here I am calling this so function and print a, what it print, student, what it print, received in dictionary. So first become the sir key and 10 is the value, sir j become the key and 20 is the value. So this is the output. What about second, sir second ka output, sir roll become the key and 10 is the value. So this is the answer. Okay, output in the form of dictionary. Now बताइए डी, व्हाट इज द आउटपुट ऑफ दिस कोड स्टूडेंट? यस बोलिए। एंड दिस इज डिफॉल्ट स्टूडेंट, राइट, बट हियर दिस 5 इट इज इम्यूटेबल। ओके, दिस इज इम्यूटेबल। सो डिफॉल्ट आर्गुमेंट एग्जीक्यूटेड वंस एंड फिक्स्ड बच्चे, डिफॉल्ट आर्गुमेंट एग्जीक्यूटेड वंस एंड फिक्स्ड, आपने डिफॉल्ट कर दिया ना, यही रहेगा ना, ये इम्यूटेबल है, ये तो चेंज होगा नहीं। सो इफ यू प्रिंट बी, इफ यू प्रिंट बी देन व्हाट इट प्रिंट स्टूडेंट, क्या प्रिंट करेगा, दिस फंक्शन इज कॉल्ड, सो प्रिंट बी व्हाट इट प्रिंट स्टूडेंट 5। ओके फाइन सर, सेकेंड टाइम आई एम कॉलिंग दिस फंक्शन सर फन 4, डिफॉल्ट तो फिक्स हो गया ना बच्चे, यही डिफॉल्ट रहेगा 5 से, और ये कैसा है, इम्यूटेबल है। सो डिफॉल्ट आर्गुमेंट एग्जीक्यूटेड वंस एंड फिक्स्ड स्टूडेंट, सो दिस इज ऑल्सो प्रिंटिंग व्हाट स्टूडेंट 5। So 5 is the answer for this question. What is the answer for this question, student? So इस क्वेश्चन में बच्चे ये नॉन डिफॉल्ट था इस केस में, और इस केस में ये क्या, बताइए क्या आंसर आएगा? ये क्या है बच्चे? डिफॉल्ट है ना, और ये स्ट्रिंग है. दिस इज ऑल्सो इम्यूटेबल. You cannot change in place. Immutable means once you create, then you cannot change in place. Okay. So here I am calling this fun. Okay. So 2 equals to 2 plus element. Sir, element, this is non-default. ओके, ये डिफॉल्ट नहीं है बच्चे. तो ये किससे ये फन, दिस एलिमेंट इज पॉइंटिंग टू दिस मॉर्निंग. सो 2 इक्वल्स टू 2 प्लस एलिमेंट. सर 2 इज गुड प्लस मॉर्निंग, इट जनरेट व्हाट सर? इट जनरेट व्हाट सर? यस स्टूडेंट. So 2 is pointing to, so basically 2 is pointing to this 2 plus element concatenation of string, right? Concatenation good morning. So output of this is what sir? Good morning. But my dear student, when you return back, जब आप return back होंगे ये सारा dead हो जाएगा. And 2 is always binded to good student. Why sir? Default argument executed once and fixed student. Okay. So if you return back after this line and now come to this line, so again sir, this 2 is fixed with good student. So next output of 2 equals to 2 plus element, and now in this case element is this evening. So output of, mhm. So this is the output student. Now tell me, what is the output of this question student? Yes, क्या output आएगा बच्चे? Yes, say something. Function x last lst equals to this list. This is default है बच्चे. ये क्या है? Default है. But this is list and list is mutable student. ये default कैसा है? Mutable है. So you it change in place बच्चे. ये mutable है बच्चे. Okay. This is mutable. Here I am calling this function. So x is what, sir? 1 non-default, and lst equals to and lst dot append x. lst dot append x, x is pointing to this one. So lst dot append x, list is mutable, so you can change in place, no problem at all. Okay, once you create, then you can change. And return lst. If you return lst, then what it print is student. So this lst is what, sir? This is 1. Print sir fun2. So in this case, x is pointing to this 2. And lst equals to append x. So this is always binded to this reference with you, this list. But list is mutable, so you can update. You can update after you can modify it after creation, bache, because list is immutable. Okay. So lst is binded to this one because this is default. So append function, with the help of append function 2. Here I am returning this. ये lst return हुआ, so it print what? Student 1 2. What about in third case, student? In third case, it is passing what, sir? Positional argument. Both is positional, then this default not consider, student. This default, this is not consider. lst equals to what? This list. In this list, you are passing list itself. So now consider this list, student. So x is pointing to this one, and this list is pointing to this list. Okay. एंड एल एस टी इक्व टू एल एस टी डॉट अपेंड एक्स. बट इस केस में क्या होगा? कंसिडर नॉन डिफॉल्ट है बच्चे, पोजिशन आप दोनों पोजिशन पास कर रहे हैं, डिफॉल्ट कंसिडर नहीं होगा. सो दिस 3 वैल्यू 3. सो द आउटपुट ऑफ दिस वन इज व्हाट, सर? 3. सो दिस इज आउटपुट 1 1 2 एंड 3. कोई है ऑप्शन बच्चे? 1 1 2 3. सो आई थिंक ए इज द आंसर. A is the right answer for this question. C not, sorry, you are passing separate list, student. इस केस में डिफॉल्ट क्यों कंसीडर होगा? डिफॉल्ट कब कंसीडर होगा? जब आप पास नहीं करेंगे तब डिफॉल्ट कंसीडर होगा ना. आप पास ही नहीं कर रहे, यहाँ आपने पास कर दिया तो डिफॉल्ट थोड़ी कंसीडर होगा. ये फ्रेश, ये वाली कंसीडर होगी. तो 1 सेकंड 1 2 एंड 3. सो A is the right answer for this question. सर ये इसमें आप पास कर रहे हैं ना, इसमें ये तो डिफॉल्ट होता है ना. डिफॉल्ट कब कंसिडर होता है? जब आप ये नहीं पास करें तभी तो होगा कंसिडर. आपने पास कर दिया तो अब ये थोड़ी कंसिडर होगा. फ्रेश एल एस टी इज पॉइंटिंग टू दिस 3. बस दैट्स ऑल. एंड इट रिटर्न एल एस टी. सो आउटपुट इज 1 1 2 3. What is the output of this question, student? This type of question may be asked in GATE exam. Okay, so practice करिए. Sidhu is saying C. What about others? बच्चे यहाँ पे एक ऐसा है डिफॉल्ट है, राइट? डिफॉल्ट में क्या है बच्चे? लिस्ट है। लिस्ट इज दिस इज लिस्ट इज म्यूटेबल, राइट? डिफॉल्ट में क्या वैल्यू है सर? लिस्ट है। और लिस्ट कैसा होता है सर? म्यूटेबल होता है, ठीक है? सो ए इक्वस टू, आई एम कॉलिंग दिस अपडेट फंक्शन, ये अपडेट फंक्शन आप कॉल कर रहे हैं, तो इस केस में सर एक्स किसको पॉइंट कर रहा है सर? 1, एक्स इज दिस 1। एंड नाउ बाई डॉट अपेंड एक्स, बाई किसको पॉइंट कर रहा है बच्चे? बाई डॉट अपेंड एक्स, बाई डॉट अपेंड एक्स, व्हाट इज एक्स? एक्स इज 1, सो राइट। And then a is pointing to this one also, sir. A is pointing to this one, right? Because it read update function call hua, a is pointing to this one, right? Now next time this again I am calling this, so only one non-default argument you are passing in this case, this is a default, again consider, sir, default consider, then x equals to sir what sir? 2 by dot append x, sir. What is by dot append x sir? This is 2, okay fine. एंड रिटर्न बाय, वाई रिटर्न किस में होगा सर? बी में रेफरेंस, तो बी इज ऑल्सो पॉइंटिंग टू दिस वन, ओके। नाउ सी इक्वल्स टू, अगेन यू आर पासिंग दिस, सी इक्वल्स टू अपडेट 3 लिस्ट। तो माय डियर स्टूडेंट, यहाँ पे जब आप इसको कॉल कर रहे हैं तो आप अलग से लिस्ट पास कर रहे हैं बच्चे, दोनों आपके कैसे हैं सर? ये पोजिशनल आर्गूमेंट हो गए, डिफॉल्ट कंसिडर नहीं होगा सर, डिफॉल्ट नहीं कंसिडर होगा। एक्स दिस वन एंड बाय इज पॉइंटिंग टू दिस वन, ओके। Y is pointing to this one and by dot append x, sir, by dot append x 3 and it written by, so C is pointing to this one, okay. C is pointing to this one. Now A is B, sir. Is operator is used for what sir? Checking the what sir? Address, reference चेक करने के लिए हम इसका इस्तेमाल करते थे, रेफरेंस के लिए। अंडरस्टूड? याद है या नहीं? भूल गए? A is B का मतलब आइडेंटिटी ऑपरेटर, इज बोथ A is B reference is same? Yes sir, both A and B pointing to same object, right? Sir, A equals to 1 2, this operator used for content बच्चे, this operator double equals to used for content, is A equals to 1 2? Yes, A equals to 1 2, same content है, so this is also true. C equals to 3, content, C का content क्या 3 है? Yes sir, this is also true. Sir, A का content क्या C के बराबर है? No sir, A is 1 2, C is 3, so this is false. So A B C are correct and D is false, okay. A B C are correct, MSQ क्वेश्चन है, D is wrong, okay. A again, A ऑप्शन ये कह रहा है A is B, A is B का मतलब क्या है? ID ऑफ A इक्वल्स टू ID ऑफ B है। इज ऑपरेटर चेक व्हाट सर? आइडेंटिटी, रेफरेंस बच्चे, ये आइडेंटिटी ऑपरेटर है, ये रेफरेंस चेक करेगा, ID, ओके। द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस लाइन, ID ऑफ A इक्वल्स टू ID ऑफ B, ID मीन्स रेफरेंस, उनके एड्रेस। सर बोथ इज पॉइंटिंग टू सेम, दोनों का सेम रेफरेंस है बच्चे, दोनों के नाम सेम रेफरेंस को पॉइंट कर रहे हैं। यस, ये स्टेटमेंट ट्रू है। डबल इक्वल्स टू यूज फॉर कंटेंट, A की वैल्यू 1 2 कैसे है? इधर देखो, इधर देखो बच्चे, सर A इक्वल्स टू अपडेट 1, सबसे पहले ये कॉल हुआ, इधर देखो, समझ में नहीं आया तो इधर देखिए। तो सबसे पहले हमने अपडेट 1 कॉल किया, तो ये अपडेट कॉल हुआ, वाई में 1 आ जाएगा, ठीक है, वाई में 1 आ जाएगा। और फिर ये रिटर्न क्या करेगा सर? वाई, यहाँ से वाई क्या नेम है, रेफरेंस है, रेफरेंस रिटर्न करेगा, किस में आएगा? ए में। सो दिस इज अलियाजिंग, दिस इज ऑल्सो पॉइंटिंग टू, दिस इज ऑल्सो पॉइंटिंग टू सेम दिस मेमोरी रेफरेंस, राइट? सेम लिस्ट, बिकॉज दिस इज aliasing, you are returning what sir? By, so A is pointing to this by, understood? Now in second case you are again call this update function to एंड ओनली टू, सो अगेन डिफॉल्ट कंसिडर होगा। डिफॉल्ट में क्या है, लिस्ट है। लिस्ट कैसा होता है, म्यूटेबल होता है, तो इसमें टू इसमें आ जाएगा। फिर रिटर्न करेगा ये क्या सर, इसका एड्रेस बाय, सो बाय रेफरेंस बी भी इसको पॉइंट करने लगेगा। उद्धव क्लियर हुआ ये? उद्धव इज इट क्लियर? उद्धव एक बार ट्राई करें। एडिटर, इफ यू हैव एडिटर देन रन, प्लीज रन दिस कोड। If you are confused, then run this code and check this one ID. Check this especially ID of this. Right? Print ID of A, ID of B. Both print same ID, student. Same reference. Okay, students. So that's all in today class. Okay. That's all in today class, student. And tomorrow class we will discuss recursion and some more important concept related to functions. Just recursion and lambda function, filter function, map function, reduce function, zip function, unzip function. Okay, all concept will discuss tomorrow class. Okay. कल की क्लास लास्ट क्लास होगी, इंपॉर्टेंट क्लास है। अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस इसके अलावा बच्चे हम लोग कुछ प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चंस भी देखेंगे एंड गेट की पीवाईक्यू गेट 2024 2025 में जो क्वेश्चंस आए हुए हैं उनको भी डिस्कस कर लेंगे। ओके, सो कल मिलते हैं। थैंक यू सो मच, बाय बाय, टेक केयर, सी यू अगेन। राइट, और कल की क्लास बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट क्लास है, तो मैं चाहूँगा कि आप अपने दोस्तों को भी शेयर करें। राइट, अगर आपको क्लास अच्छी लग रही तो आप अपने फ्रेंड्स को शेयर करिए, वो ज्वाइन करें क्लास को। ओके, काफ़ी बेनिफिशियल क्लास होगी बच्चे, ये कल की क्लास काफ़ी बेनिफिशियल क्लास होगी। यस, अभी पीडीएफ उद्धव अपलोड करा देते हैं, दोनों क्लास की पीडीएफ अभी आधा घंटे के अंदर अपलोड हो जाएगी। राइट, हाफ एन आवर। यस यस सिद्धू। ओके ओके, ऑल द बेस्ट। ओके, बाय बाय, टेक केयर, कल मिलते हैं। कल का मतलब नेक्स्ट क्लास बच्चे, नेक्स्ट क्लास कब होगी आपको अपडेट मिल जाएगा, आई थिंक। ओके, कल ही होगी जहाँ तक है।